Good morning, Dogfish friends. It is early Saturday morning, and we're in Austria. We've got 6 stages ahead of us this morning, 109 kilometres. And David, the weather is really very different from yesterday.
It is, Colin. It's a lot drier, huge amounts of blue sky around. We can actually see the mountains. We can see the Alps today for the first time.
We can. We're just south of Passau. We've crossed the river into Austria today. Pierre-Louis Loubet, after his issues yesterday, first on the road. Stages are a little different. They were tight and nadgery, very, very slippery indeed when we were in the Czech Republic yesterday. They're a little more open in places, as you can see. They're more rolling hills, it's more open countryside. Yesterday we were very much in the forest. Today, yeah, it's clear from these tyres that they're still expecting it to be pretty wet, particularly for our first car on the road, which is That's some noise. That is some noise.
I would say there were definitely used wets. Those wets had seen a bit of action yesterday.
They have.
They've got about a 2k down the road, Cole. So
yeah, 1.74 k's.
1.74 kilometres to the start line. So really working the car, really working the tyres, working the brakes, just to get heat and energy into it.
Now he's gone. Timo's gone. And we will find him in a second. Oh, there he is. There he is. What is it with me and missing Timo Sunen? I missed him badly in Chile, didn't I?
He's actually hiding away from me.
Let's go and have a word with Timo. Timo, what are you hearing about conditions out here this morning?
It's wet. Not so much mud as yesterday.
Tell us about the wets that you've put on your car. Are they all new, or have you gone with some used ones?
Mostly used.
Mostly used, okay. And
they are in good shape, as you see. It looks like a new.
Yeah, they do look great, don't they? Different sorts of roads today. We talked a little bit about it yesterday evening, but maybe suiting your style a little bit better today.
Hopefully. We had the test rally in Austria some weeks ago, so it was a bit more similar roads to these ones. So hopefully it will be better.
Good luck today, Timo. There we are, just checking the tyre pressures, David. Now, let's have a wee look. That's it.
See,
let's see what he's up to.
He's making the changes from the safety crew, which is something that we talked about yesterday with Toyota, that Toyota handed a set of notes that are already changed.
They are, and they've got Markus Salminen, isn't it, who seems to coordinate all of that. So, you know, he coordinates with the safety crews. The safety crews then make the changes and hand over a complete new set of notes, effectively, with the changes there.
But I guess there are times when that's practical, when it works to do that, and there are times when you get perhaps later and there's not the chance to hand over the notes, or logistically it's not possible to do that.
Logistically, it's a massive challenge, coordinating all of that. Do you know what? We didn't really talk to Gregoire Munster yesterday at all. David, he had a reasonably comfortable day out there.
He did exactly that. Excuse me, that does look a little bit soft.
Elliot.
Is that one of those though, Cole, when you park on a bit of an angle and you're convinced you've got a puncture?
But yeah, look at that. You'd look at that and say that's soft, but you know, Timo's been round, he's checked all of the pressures. You'd have said that was, maybe it is just to do with the angle it's sitting at. It must be.
It can be quite deceptive.
Timo
definitely had a second look at that though.
He's not bothered. So the question we had yesterday, which I'm going to ask one of the co-drivers when they're not quite as busy, is road sections. There were long road sections yesterday, 130 plus kilometres. It means that the road book is actually fairly chunky. There are a lot of instructions in the road book. And my question was, do co-drivers still follow the road books, or do they have pre-plotted routes?
I'm pretty sure that this is different. See now how it goes in, it comes out, goes in.
It's corrugated.
Is that the word? Corrugated.
Yeah, it's corrugated.
But it's designed like that to keep the leaves from
blocking. I suspect so. Is there something going on here? Not quite sure. Not all looks reasonably calm. Remember, 3-minute gaps out there today, so that was Munster going in. They do have 1 point.
Sorry, so I stopped talking there, Cole. That it's in autumn, obviously.
Yeah.
You get the leaves swept up, and the leaves get sucked into the front of the car, and it blocks the air intake.
This is a really good looking at it from this angle, David, isn't
Yeah,
it? It
that's
shows
the
exactly what
point,
you're
yeah.
talking about. Normally it would be a flat mesh to keep the leaves out, but this is kind of corrugated. What does that do? It gives more surface area. So it is interesting. It's really interesting
Totally,
too.
because
Telephone, yeah. Who leaves their telephone on the roof more than anyone?
yeah.
Takasan. Takasan.
Indeed. Oh, Takasan leaves his telephone everywhere.
Everywhere. Never mind on the
Ooh.
roof. You can see how
Takes
easy
them
it is
off.
to do, though. Just to do that. So, too often. Now, we are waiting. I suspect the others have stopped a little further back up the road. We'll jump in the car, we'll head off, we'll see who we can find. Well, we've come a little bit further back down the liaison route. We're in the village of Luck. Really appropriate. Who's going to have good luck today? I had the car jacked up. There was having a good look under the rear right of the car. Maybe he's felt something on the road section. Let's see if we can grab a very quick word with Oit this morning. He's the man that may have some new wets on his car. Had the car jacked up. It might have just been maybe a little vibration he was feeling, maybe something under braking, who knows? But just double checking that everything's okay.
They are new. Do you think these are new?
No, no. Difficult to say, isn't it? Very difficult to say. See if we can grab a very quick word. We'll get a word with him in just a second or two. All looks reasonably calm. We'll grab a word with Oit once he returns. And then we'll move a little bit further down.
I missed coming down, but what was lying underneath it, was that, do we think, more maybe clicks or something like that?
Don't know. It was an interesting one. He was on his back right underneath. He had the front wheel turned and was looking behind that. We've seen him do that before, just checking things out. But he was on his back underneath, behind the wheel, seeing as much as he could. Not quite sure what he was looking for, but we will just ask Oit as he returns. YX22 FCD. I don't know what chassis that is. When did we first see that one? I'm sure there are people out there that can tell us. Let's just see whether we can have. Oit, very, very quickly, you were just having a little look under the rear right there. Was there something that you were just checking out? What was going on?
No, just some click change.
Just some click changes. Tyres ahead of this one. You got some new wet ones on this morning?
Yeah.
Yes, he has. There we go. Oit Tanak. Best of luck to Oit Tanak out there this morning.
It's a little bit cooler as well this morning.
It's a little bit cooler.
You are going to be looking to try and soften the car off, and that was something that was a feature for yesterday, wasn't it? With Tanak struggling with the car that was a little bit too stiff for the conditions.
I think he's a little concerned about something there. Not quite sure what.
Excuse me, I'm not sure.
But it's unusual to be.
But you just said it yourself. We have seen him.
We've seen it before. We've seen it before, but unusual to be underneath the car on your back, having a look under the rear right. We'll wait and see. Elvin Evans out here just having a little look, checking things. We don't like to disturb. We'll give him a second or two. He's doing his thing. Let's wander around, have a look at the car. Again, now, let's take a look at what we've got on this car. Yeah, again, there are wets, but new or old, we really don't know. We really don't know.
No, they're old.
Old, used ones. Just look at this. Come and have a look at this. It shows you how soft these are. Look how much gravel they've picked up. How much sandy gravel they pick up on the way in here. Just shows you how soft that, I suppose, that rubber is. Interestingly, David, can we read anything into this? The rear ones. That's what is that?
What?
Oh, look, that's obviously a lot more worn than that front one. It hasn't picked up as much. Elvin's having a look. He's trying to work out what we're talking about.
Listening into what we're saying?
He's thinking those boys are talking some nonsense. That's definitely a used on the rear. Now let's go and have a wee word with Scott. Nice and calm in the village this morning. 109 kilometres in front of us. There is a service today after the first loop of stages. Remember, there wasn't yesterday, but there is today.
I'm not sure, Cole, anybody will have any fresh wets to go on today.
Yeah, you're right, maybe not. Good morning, Martin. Sorry, my friends. Don't want to get in his way. There's Thierry Neuville. Thierry, 5 wets this morning. We look around, everyone else has gone with 6. A little bit of a gamble or not?
I don't think so.
We thought it was going to be drier this morning. We might see some softs rather than wets, but clearly it's still wet enough out there.
It's wet enough, and most of the cars in the front are on wet tires, so they definitely got make a joy out of it, taking all the cuts and making the road dirty.
Obviously, you're looking to build the advantage over Elvin, but keeping one eye on Robin Pera. If he slips up, you're there, ready to pounce.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna see. I mean, if the feeling is good, the car works better, and we made the right tire call. Who knows what's possible?
What about the setup call? Did you make many changes to yesterday's setup overnight?
Quite a bit, yeah.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
There we go. I do love, he's one of the smilier characters in the morning, isn't he? Thierry Neuville.
Shouldn't we have asked a bit more about the setup, or is that?
Now, this is interesting. We've got to ask about this. This is the Rally 2 Fiesta. It has this,
Yeah,
this
and then-
in
and then it
the
goes
mapping. Then it goes off. You know. It's interesting, and then it's off.
Yeah.
It's this process it goes through with the mapping. Now, has Martin got a second? Martin, do you have a second for me to ask you a question or not? We debated yesterday, long road sections here, lots of road book instructions. Do you pre-plot in your telephone or your sat-nav, or do you still use the road book, physically use the road book to find your way to the stages?
I'm using Garmin, the fastest road to the service bar.
But have you got the book and are you turning the pages? Or?
Of course, you have no choice.
You have no choice. You're not able to pre-plot them into your Google Maps?
I have a maps with me, but I follow the road book.
Fantastic. That was a question we had. Thank you, Martin. David?
I just wanted to ask if you ticked off the boxes.
Oh, did you still tick off the boxes? Yeah. Question.
Now let's save that for somebody else.
Someone else. That's a good question. Let's move along. Did you grab a word with Elvin? We didn't, did we? As he heads in. He's heading off. Adrien Fourmeau had a fantastic day yesterday. Pace was incredible. Let's have a word with him.
And let's ask about why it goes through that program.
He's watching, checking the conditions. Oh, it looks a little bit slippery in there. I've said it before, I never, ever like to open doors. Yeah, what are you talking about, these two? Yeah, I'm not sure what they are. That's to do with something. That's to do with something else. And that one's really interesting, because that's to do with the third thing.
Do you think, should we go back up the road and see Calais now?
Yes, yeah. Let's just grab a very quick word with Adrien, because he did have a fantastic day yesterday. Adrien, we just wanted to ask you about yesterday, because my goodness me, the pace out there. Obviously, a puncture was a bit of a blow, but the performance was incredible.
Well, we're really happy with our day yesterday. It's really a shame with the puncture, but we are back in 4th position. We were 15, so we can be happy with our comeback. Yeah.
Have you had a look? You've obviously had a look at the positions at the times. Where can you get to? Can you still win it?
Well, the rally is still really long, so we never know what can happen in front. We can even maybe catch them. We'll see.
We saw a big change in this car with the differential when they brought the new differential in. Then the engine. Now there's more upgrades to the car. Just how good is this car now?
Well, we have been working a lot this season to improve the car, and so actually it's working well for sure. It will work more on the really hot event, but it's also work when it's cold. So actually I'm sure it gives some extra power.
I think at the start of the year, it's fair to say you were struggling against the Skodas and the Citroen. Would you say now that they're having to catch up with your pace, the pace of this car?
Well, I think we just have to watch the time now, and we are really competitive against them. So yeah, definitely we catch them, and now the car is really performant.
Have a fabulous day today.
No, just
Thank you.
explain a
David's
little
got one
bit that when you're about to switch off, it goes pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop, pop. Why is that?
Well, it's a cooling strategy, but for the turbo.
Is it?
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
think that's what I said.
I said it was something to do with engine mapping, but that would be the same thing, wouldn't
I like this
it?
new
Good
hat
luck
as
today,
well.
Adrien. Yeah, great performance. You know what? This sport's all about confidence, and like any of our top drivers, Adrien Fourmeau's had his ups and his downs, but he is very much on the up just now, and you can tell by his demeanour, you can tell by the way he holds
got that-
himself.
yeah, he's got that confidence
He
back,
has got
hasn't
the
he?
confidence back. He knows he's a top quality driver. He knows he can go fast. We're going to head back up the road here,
I
see
think
whether
we're
we
gonna
can
miss
find.
Calais, though.
Probably just missed him, but we'll see if we can find our rally leader, Calais Rovanperä. Well, we didn't quite catch up with our rally leader, Calais Rovanperä, but that is the man himself heading to the opening stage of the day. He's got a great lead. He can afford to be a little more cautious and conservative out there. It was a masterclass from Rovanperä yesterday. Let's wait and see what he can do out there today.